gotta keep them separated.
Chris Draper here. Welcome to the Sixth Man. Brandon Burnett should be coming in shortly. Running a little late, said he was passing by Sioux City. For all those who are in Martinsville, Collinsville, Virginia, and know where that's at. My colleague's just a little late. He'll be sliding in. I hear him coming through the door right now, but that's just how live we are here at BTW 21. But with that being said, I'm going to give you a little bit of the district, but we really want to talk a lot of March Madness with you guys. We really want to talk a lot of college basketball. So with that being said, and us talking college basketball at this moment, we're going to do a lot of that. But I'm going to actually give you, before we start talking college basketball, as my co-host is actually sitting down right now, getting everything ready. I know he's ready to talk UNC. I know he's ready to talk University of Kentucky. I know he's ready to talk that Kentucky-Indiana matchup, which we're actually going to talk about. But we're actually going to talk about a lot of the matchups that are about to go on in the Sweet 16 this weekend, because our ACC schools, as you see me wearing my ACC shirt, 6 of our teams have made it into the big dance.
13-1 this weekend.
13-1, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. 13-1, 6 teams in the ACC, 3 traditional ACC schools, and then some of the expansion schools.
Some of the expansion schools. And with that being said, and he's talking about Syracuse and Notre Dame and a lot of those teams, and Miami. But we'll actually start it off like this. We're going to talk about, first and foremost, so I can let him get this out the way, Kentucky versus Indiana matchup. A lot of us experts had Kentucky pegged to actually win. But I did say this, if you were listening to me, I did say this. I said Kentucky's bigs were horrible. And I did mention that. If he gives me any credit on that, I said Kentucky's bigs were horrible. And if you're wondering any reason why John Calipari elected not to go to his bigs late in that game, it's because if you saw Labissiere, I think it's Labissiere. Labissiere.
I think that's good enough.
That's good enough, right? But if you've seen anything like Alex Poitras or Labissiere or any of them like that, when they try to get it down to him in the post, they couldn't even handle it in the post. Yeah. Couldn't even establish post position. So with that being said, I mean, it was all Tyler Ulis or Jamal Murray, who are a very outstanding backcourt, as you saw. I mean,
they kept them in the game.
They kept them in the game the entire time, but it just wasn't enough because of the balanced scoring attack of Indiana, and it just wasn't enough for Troy Williams and Yogi Ferrell and a couple of those guys, because Troy Williams had a great game.
Yeah, Troy Williams and Yogi Ferrell, that two-headed monster, they were amazing. They're amazing in that game. They just showed what a good team they are. You know, I think they got underseeded, 5 seed.
Yeah. Kentucky was underseeded. I felt like they should be a better seed than Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. They'll lose to Oklahoma coming up this week. You'll see it come.
Yeah, I think Buddy Hield will be enough to beat them.
And Isaiah Cousins. Mm-hmm. They'll be enough to beat them, but we won't even talk about them. That's not a matchup neither here nor there with the SEC and the Big 12. We're not even discussing them. It's all ACC now. So with that being said, we got that out the way. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this for Brandon first. UNC Indiana. 2 blue blood programs, Tom Crean, Roy Williams. The stage is set. Marcus Page, Yogi Ferrell. The stage is set. Troy Williams, Bryce Johnson. You have Bryant. You have a couple other players off UNC with a balanced scoring attack of UNC in that inside, the great rebounding team and great defensive team that has gone unnoticed because you hear so much about UVA's defense. We don't talk a lot about Carolina's man-to-man defense that they have and the great defense that is Carolina.
Yeah, I have to say this game on Friday night at 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and they play in Philadelphia.
You'll be watching.
That's stupid.
You'll be watching.
I'd watch. They played at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'd watch. They played at 3 o'clock in the morning, and
UNC.
Yeah, a hole in the wall. But the thing is, with this matchup, it's a shame this isn't the regional final, because whoever wins this game. I'm going to go and call it now. Whoever wins this game is going to go to the Final Four.
Okay.
I think they'll take care of the winner of Notre Dame, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Both teams are very fortunate to be on there because they got tip-ins and a three-pointer to win that game.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, man.
That's what the tournament is. That's what the tournament is.
I mean, look at Michigan State falling down to Middle Tennessee State. Everybody in there, everybody at least had them probably going to the Elite Eight, if not the Final Four.
And every one of my
odds gone now.
Every one of my brackets, I either had Michigan State or North Carolina winning the title.
Check it out. No, I had Kansas winning the title. I actually wanted to trust Kansas.
I still had no
that
faith in that.
The NCAA, I mean, March Madness has taught you not to trust Kansas at all.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's like you don't trust Villanova.
Don't trust Villanova. I got Villanova. I mean, I think Villanova could lose to Miami. In all seriousness, we'll talk about that.
I got Miami beating them.
But with UNC Indiana, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think Marcus Page steps up to the plate this time. He's 12 points away from tying Michael Jordan's 12th, being 12th all-time as UNC scorer. He's 12 points away. I actually looked that up. He's 12 points away from actually beating Michael Jordan. So I think he'll get it. But I think he'll step up on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, as great as a guard as Tyler Ulis was, don't get me wrong, and as great as defensive pressure, guard-to-guard pressure, you just can't guard anybody, to be honest with it, when he's just as fast as you, just as strong, just as quick, has a variety of moves like Yogi Ferrell, pull up off the dribble, get to the rack whenever he needs to. Marcus Page can do the same. But I think the thing is, when you play UNC, I'm willing to say Tom Crean might run a 2-3 zone. He might take after a lot of these other teams and try to get North Carolina. And if North Carolina,
the key is if they get to that 2-3 zone, if Barry has been the most reliable and the most steady player Carolina's had the entire year. He besides Joel Berry.
You're calling it too. You said he'd get most outstanding player if they get all the way to the if they get to the championship and win it.
I'm gonna take that back because I think if Carolina gets to the title game, Bryce Johnson's gonna win most likely most outstanding player.
Bryce Johnson versus Troy Williams.
8 blocks in that first game.
Ridiculous.
And they went on such a monster run. By the way, the people who picked Providence to beat North Carolina in that second round.
I don't know about that.
Some of the ESPN talking
Chris Dunn isn't that good.
Chris Dunn's good, but he isn't that good.
He isn't good enough to take a team and beat somebody by himself.
Yeah, him and Bentel kept that team afloat. If it wasn't for that,
athletic guards, man, they can do what they do. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't even be in the tournament. So, with that being said, but when you're going up against North Carolina, it's the bigs, man. Can you out-rebound North Carolina? Can you control the tempo like North Carolina does?
No.
You can't do that. I don't care if North Carolina can't hit threes, for God's sakes, with Justin Jackson or anybody but Joel Berry. If you can't control the tempo with North Carolina or out-rebound them, they've showed you they can win at UVA's game, whether that be slow in a half-court setting, or they can win in a full-court setting if it's fast-paced, getting out in defense and transition buckets. It's really nothing you can do against UNC, and to be honest with you, the two best teams right now are UNC and Kansas.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Michigan State is still one of the best teams in the country. Off day that day, chose to shoot too many threes when it came down to the wire.
Middle Tennessee State really
wasn't a 16 and really wasn't a 15 seed if you want to look at it like that.
I mean, they were probably a 9 or
10 seed.
I mean, they look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I couldn't believe how terrible they played against Syracuse. Syracuse just popped them in the mouth, but that's neither here nor there. I tell you, it's funny. Out of all these Sweet 16 matchups, I think this is going to be the best one.
Yeah,
the
UNC-Indiana matchup?
I think it's going to be good. Carolina, this is funny. This is the first time Carolina's played Indiana in the NCAA tournament since 1984.
Oh, and that's when Michael Jordan got beat.
Yeah.
1984, Indiana put him out.
And then 1981, the first time they played the NCAA tournament in the national title game. This was the year before Michael Jordan came to Carolina, and Carolina lost that game in the old Philadelphia Spectrum.
Yeah.
In the national title game. So it's funny now that this regional is in Philadelphia. This is the first time Carolina's played Indiana and Philadelphia since 1981. I know that was a long time. That was 35 years ago. But it'd be nice to see if Carolina can come out and get revenge for that. And the thing is, none of those players weren't even alive when that happened.
I was going to ask the question, why these guys don't play anymore, like the Indiana-Kentucky matchups or the UNC-Indiana. But then again, Indiana hasn't been relevant for a while.
The thing is, with Indiana-Kentucky, if that matchup was going to happen, which it did, I thought Indiana was going to have the edge because Indiana, I think they still have stuck in their craw that Kentucky ended that series with them. Yeah.
Well, they don't want to play they want to play on a neutral site. Like Calipari wants to play on a neutral site anytime, he'll do that. But then Tom Crean actually wants to play they want to do it Kentucky, Indiana. Yeah. So that's the way they want it.
Well, I think they should do a home and home series. It's kind of like with North Carolina and Kentucky. Yeah. Unfortunately, Kentucky and North Carolina next year will play in Las Vegas in the CBS Sports Classic. So I don't know. With traditional matchups like that, I just would love to see them play
a home and a home.
Home and home.
But the thing is, with those traditional matchups, you have fans from all over the world that really can't go see those games at those home and home. So they're trying to broaden it. CBS trying to make a little money as well. So with that being said, so I think with this game, who do you have winning? You have UNC or Indiana?
I mean, I would be a terrible Carolina fan if I said Carolina was going to lose to Indiana.
Yeah, but we're also sports broadcasters, so I just want you to think unbiased.
Oh, okay, all right. This is my opinion. I think Carolina is going to win, but the reason why I think Carolina is going to win is because of Bryce Johnson.
Okay.
I think Bryce Johnson is going to be the key. I think Bryce Johnson is going to have a really, really good game. And I think Page will hit some big shots down the stretch to get them into the Elite Eight.
Brandon has UNC winning. Me, myself, I have UNC winning, but I have it winning just because of the bigs, Bryce Johnson and company, Kennedy Meeks, Isaiah Hicks. They will out-rebound Indiana. They will control the tempo, and you will see this team get the win. I think Marcus Page has a better game because it's Yogi Ferrell. Cross-guard matchup. Who doesn't want to step up in that matchup? Oh, yeah. So with that being said, I think UNC has better bigs, especially than Kentucky had. UNC has the best front court in the nation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think UNC gets the win here. So we're going to cross UNC for the win and keep it crossed that our results stay the same next week. But all right, with that being said, the next game we're going to come to is the UVA-Iowa State matchup. This is a pretty good matchup. Contrasting styles here. One is defensively oriented, another is offensively oriented. Another team scores in the high 70s to 80s, while UVA barely likes to cross into the 70 range, though they've been playing pretty well. Now, for you Wahoo fans, you're lucky enough to get this far, in all honesty, because I'm just going to say it, I've never liked UVA style. I've never liked the way they play. I mean, I understand the coach has to play a lot of defense, the pack line, because you know, Malcolm Brogdon is a pro. Don't get me wrong.
He's great.
Is a pro.
He's great.
He does things like a man should do. But when he's off, when Parentes is off, or Gill is off, and I know you're saying, Chris, that's three players that's off. But sometimes with UVA, those three players have been off at the same time.
Well, yeah, Leonard Parentes, he disappeared in that ACC championship game against North Carolina.
Exactly.
And I think that really hurt
Malcolm Brogdon disappeared in the second half.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Page played great defense.
But that's like, people don't understand. When you have a guard on a big matchup, that makes the big, he doesn't want to put it on the floor as much as he wants to because the guard is that low enough to get the steal or cause havoc from him getting to the rim. Marcus Page did a great job forcing Malcolm Brogdon into taking perimeter shots. Malcolm Brogdon shot tougher shots as well. And you say, well, Brogdon's what, about 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", while Page isn't anything but about 6'1", 6'2". So
6'2's being generous.
And that's being generous. And we've seen Marcus Page in person. So with that being said, Marcus Page, low to the ground, great defensive player. He's underrated in that aspect. But Malcolm Brogdon wasn't going to put it on the ground against him. You're not going to do too many crossovers. You're going to pull up. You're going to try to do too many things. And he did a great job on Malcolm Brogdon. So with that being said, I think this matchup goes to this. I think it's going to be tough for UVA unless they can control the tempo like they normally do, because Ohio State with Georges Niang and Anthony Gill, that's a great matchup right there. Like Georges Niang and Gill, Gill has been a great scorer for UVA lately, and you have Niang who is going to space the floor out just a little bit. He's going to bring Gill out of that post, and he's going to space it out, and Niang can stretch the floor.
Oh yeah.
So you have a great matchup there. You got Monte Morris, you got Nadar, you got McKay. But all you have for UVA is Toby, Brogdon, Parentes, and Gill. So these are great contrasting styles for us to watch, and we'll see which one will prevail.
You know, I have to say one thing about this game. I could totally see Iowa State winning this game.
I could too.
I could see them winning this game. If I'm not mistaken, I know that the East Regionals in Philadelphia, the West Regionals in Anaheim. Isn't this regional in Chicago?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it is, but I could be mistaken. I didn't actually look that far into where it's located.
Reason why I say that, because
it's closer.
Iowa's very close to Chicago, and I was just thinking that Iowa might have the home court advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that might come in handy for them. I think that might help them. But the thing is, Iowa State, they play a different type of basketball compared to UVA.
Fast pace.
If UVA slows them down, I think they win.
Yeah, but who's going to be your prediction? We're giving predictions on this one.
You know, I have to say I picked UVA to go to the Elite Eight before the season started, or before the tournament started. I'm going to stick with it. I think
you're going to stick with UVA? I'm going to actually pick UVA. I picked UVA to go all the way to face Michigan State. So with that being said, I'm going to have to keep UVA on board. So I'm going to keep UVA on board here, and we're going to move on to the Duke versus Oregon matchup. With the Duke versus Oregon matchup, I don't trust Pac-12 teams. I never have.
I don't either.
Never will. I could easily pick Duke in this matchup. Shoot, I picked Duke to get all the way to the Elite Eight. And why do you say this? Because that whole region was sort of a toss-up. Whoever wins this matchup, I think, face what? Oklahoma and Texas? Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
So whoever, I think Duke will actually win this matchup. I think Grayson Allen's going to have a great game, Brandon Ingram, and I think Tyler Thornton has been playing his role lately and stepping up. So I actually think that Duke can win this matchup. It will be probably high scoring as both these teams don't play the best defense in the world.
No,
so
they don't.
With that being said, I think Duke wins this game. Better coach.
You know, I have to say one thing about Oregon. I watched Oregon play. You know, Oregon had a close game against St. Joseph's.
Yeah.
St. Joseph's is a good team.
Yes.
And, you know, they rolled to the first round. I watched Oregon play, and I was pretty impressed what I saw because, honestly, I didn't think they deserved that 1 seed. But when I saw them play this weekend, I was like, okay, yeah, this makes complete sense why they're in a 1 seed. Thing is, with Duke, I had Duke lose in the second round to Baylor, but Baylor lost at Yale. And, you know, that was just a wild weekend that was. But Duke and Oregon, it's in Anaheim. I think Oregon's going to have the home court advantage. I think that will help them. I think this can go either way. It's going to be high scoring. I had to say, I'm going to go chalk and say Oregon's going to win.
You're going to go chalk and say Oregon's going to win, so we finally have a contrast, finally have a disagreement, small. But, hey, either way, I feel like both of them's losing next round of probably Oklahoma. So, with that being said, and I could see Duke beating Oklahoma. I mean, just – it depends.
I think Buddy Hield's going to take them to the Final Four.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Buddy can do. So with that being said, we'll move on to Miami versus Villanova. Do I trust either of these teams? No. In all honesty, I don't trust either of these teams. And if I could pick against both, I would. But I think I'll lean towards picking against Villanova. Jay Wright and company, they've had a good run, but I've never trusted Villanova. They ruin my bracket every year I've done it.
This is the first time they've been in the second weekend of the tournament since 2009.
Exactly.
And it's just every year they'll get a high seed and they'll just crap out really early.
You know, and my only reason, I'm not saying I've watched too much of Villanova, and I really haven't, because I watched Jalen Brunson in high school, and I watched him coming through just a tidbit of this college as well. And I know Ryan on that team, DCNO or whatever. I can't really pronounce his name. I'm sorry. He's the leading scorer on that team.
You did good enough. Yeah,
I did good enough. That's the bad part. I'm sorry. Please forgive me if I butchered your name, man. I do apologize. With that being said, I'm just thinking Angel Rodriguez, Sheldon McClellan, Jahiri, and I'm thinking Reed will actually come to play this game, and I'm actually thinking they're going to get the win. I think Miami's going to definitely get this one.
Yeah, you know, I picked Miami to play Kansas in the regional final before when the brackets came out, and I'm sticking with it. I think Miami's going to win. I think Miami has a good team, well-coached team.
Well-coached.
I'm not saying Jay Wright's a bad coach. He's a good coach,
he's
too.
a good coach.
He's one of the best. But, you know,
plays in the Big East, and this is the ACC.
Yeah.
ACC has 6 teams in it for a reason.
Yeah, and it's not a mistake, those 6 teams. Yeah, best conference.
Best conference in the country. Hands down, it's with ease. Just set the record.
Just set the record for most teams in the Sweet 16. Could have had 7.
Could have had 7.
Could have had 7, but, you know, like I said, I think that's going to be a fun game. I think the Miami-Villanova game and I think the Carolina-Indiana game out of the ACC games are probably going to be probably the best games.
I don't think so. Because since this is my show,
okay,
and since I have 2 favorite teams, and since this has nothing to do with the ACC market or the Martinsville market, what game am I going to choose to be the best game? Kansas and Maryland. Yes, I'm going to choose Kansas and Maryland, and we're actually going to talk about that matchup because Maryland is my favorite team if you didn't know anything about me, and Kansas is my second favorite team if you didn't know anything about me. Yes, Chris Draper doesn't love any ACC schools, and he's from ACC country, but I did love Maryland. We just went to the Big Ten, and we have 4 lottery picks on that team. Well, 4 first-round picks. Now, have they played like first-round picks this entire season? No. Do I trust Maryland? No. Haven't trusted them all season. I thought they'd be different because when they played UNC, that was more like a national championship game that we've seen in many. That UK-Kentucky game was pretty good too, just to be honest with you. But with that being said, Kansas, Maryland. Now in my bracket, just to be fair, I have Kansas beating Maryland. I don't think, Frank Mason, Perry Ellis, Selden, Graham, that entire team, Green, Traylor, that's a great team. Honestly, they're the best team in the country. What can't they do as far as defense goes? They're the hottest team in the country.
Oh, yeah.
They can, from full court to half court, whether it be stretching the floor, perimeter shooting, or driving on the inside with Graham, creating your own shots with that backcourt of Graham and Mason, which is one of the best backcourts in the country. Perry Ellis on Wooden Watch as well. I'm thinking, hey, this team can beat Maryland. But then again, you got a guy named Melo Trimble that gets to the free throw line about 13 times a game. I mean, and he can create his own shot. Now, sometimes I think he's a little too poised for me, and sometimes he's a little too relaxed. But I think they can lead it, and I think the wild cards in that game are Suleiman and Jake Layman. They'll be able to stretch the floor. Now, Perry Ellis stretches it as well, but Jake Layman's going to bring you out there.
Yeah.
And so is Diamond Stone and Robert Carter. So this is a great matchup, and I think it's going to be a fun matchup.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be something that NBA GMs watch.
Oh, I'm sure.
just to see.
I'm sure they'll be watching it
And
closely.
I could see Maryland pulling off an upset.
Well, you
but
know-
I don't.
No.
But I don't. I'll pick Kansas.
You think Kansas is going to win?
Kansas, but I think it'll be a tight and close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Maryland won.
You know, well, the thing is, with the way this region's been, the way the whole tournament's been.
Can't be surprised at anything. It's just like college basketball has been this entire season. It's been
Yeah.
a parity.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 2 seeds and 3 seeds. We've seen them all fall.
Michigan State, for God's sakes, and every expert in the country had them at least going to the Final Four.
A lot of them have won the national title.
I didn't have them. I had Kansas.
And I had Kansas in the national
Yes, Kansas,
championship.
UNC.
I had Kansas in the national championship game in almost every one of my brackets, playing against either Michigan State or North Carolina. But you know that I think that should be a very fun matchup.
Very fun.
Yeah, I have to say, if Maryland hits 3-pointers, which they can, I think they have a great shot of winning that game.
See how much we like college basketball? We haven't even taken a break yet. We're going to actually take a break. And I'm going to come back with some local television, give you some local baseball highlights on what's going on with the Magna Vista Warriors and the Bassett Bengals and the Franklin County Eagles. So, hey, stay tuned. Be right back with more of the Sixth Man.
You gotta keep them separated.
Looking to pack more performance into your vehicle this season? Well, it starts with your tires. And from March the 16th to April the 10th, you can get a $70 reward card after submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires, including the new Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. Cunningham Tire, serving you in 3 locations, Bassett, Danville, and Eden. Come on by. Cunningham Tire, we'll keep you rolling.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home. Knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors, right here in Martinsville, is sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.
Casting Logos provides customers with an opportunity to brand themselves by casting their logo or message onto almost any product. Get custom embroidery on shirts, jackets, hats, bags, and more. Have your tees or uniforms professionally screen printed. Make trophies or plaques for those you want to recognize. Get banners, signs, vehicle wraps, or full wraps and advertise in a big way. Contact us for professional services you can count on. Casting Logos, 2845 Virginia Avenue, 647 Logo. Your local news is brought to you in part by eBay Enterprise.
Have you ever been so busy that you neglected your car? Stop by one of our 2 locations for a free 21-point inspection. We offer full-service oil changes, tire rotations, radiator flushes, and complete engine diagnostics. And don't forget, at Quick Lube, we offer a loyalty rewards program for every 6 full-service oil changes free. Quick Lube serving you with 2 locations, Ridgeway and Martinsville, or visit us online at QuickLubeVA.
You gotta keep them separated.
Welcome back to the Sixth Man, where we love college basketball and just spent 20 minutes talking about the key ACC matchups plus Kansas and Maryland. Hopefully you'll tune in to us. If not, I'm going to get Doug to put this on YouTube so you can watch it anyways. So you can get your favorite men, your favorite sports broadcasters, commentators, play-by-play color and everything. So you can have us in your living rooms, on your TV sets, and on your iPads, your phones, and your computer screens.
That's right.
Just so you need it all, because BTW21, we're doing big things. And we got some things going on. Now, will we do a lot of what we're going to get around to? We might do some soccer games coming up. I don't know yet. We might just film those, do some soccer games, baseball season. Really can't put baseball on there. Listen, if you really want baseball, you got to talk to Rodney, you got to talk to Chad, because they the men to talk to. But you really going to have to make it lucrative, because it's baseball. And
baseball's baseball.
It's hard to put on TV.
Yes.
I mean, most people don't even watch it on Most people don't even watch it when it's on national TV. So, I mean, if you want to see the local talent, we'll keep you informed. I mean, Nate Perry's doing well at Bassett, and you have Cameron Brummett doing well at Magna Vista. However, Magna Vista just fell to Franklin County 13-2. I mean, it's Franklin County. They were the top team in the Piedmont District last year. So.
Yeah, you have to remember Franklin County's 6A too.
Exactly. Franklin County is 6A. They were the top team in the Piedmont District last year. Warriors coming last year. They were one of the top teams in the PD, and then they struggled towards the bottom of the season. They're led by Cameron Brummett and Devin Page, who got RBI singles from both of those against those games, contributed to the only 2 runs, but they still fell 13-2. So with that being said, the Bengals, also playing one of the top teams in 4A, played Jefferson Forest last week. I think they played Halifax yesterday, but there were no results on that game in the Martinsville Bulletin. With that being said, Jordan Smith, 5 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs, and you had Nate Perry drive in 3 of the 4 runs. So Nate Perry's still doing his thing at Bassett. We'll have more with him, probably get some interviews with him as well, Grant Wickline and company. Basically, Grant saying that his team still has a lot to work on as far as hitting is concerned. They want to become a better offensive team, but that's got to be a great showing. They only lost 8-4, and they took it to 9 innings, giving up 4 innings in that 4 runs in that last inning. So it was 4-4 in the bottom of the 8th, and that's how they ended up pushing it that far. But with that being said, Bassett did lose that game, and Jefferson Forest is one of the top powerhouses as far as baseball is concerned in 4A. So you got to give it up to our area sports for this. Martinsville, not being one of the best baseball teams in it, will have their scores as well. Patrick County will be keeping up with some soccer here. We just have the March Madness crazy going on. So, I mean, it's really...
Unfortunately, it'll be over soon.
Yeah, it'll be over soon. And unfortunately, your brackets have been destroyed already, I know. I mean, unless some of you don't even watch basketball or anything like that, I know your brackets are destroyed. Everybody's has to be destroyed. I mean, Michigan State went down the first weekend. Who called that? Who saw that? Who saw that coming?
And not only did they go down, they never led in that game.
At all. So I know, I mean, and we've always taught you what? To trust Tom Izzo. Looks like we were wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. Well, with that being said, that's March Madness for you. But anyways, with that being said, thank you for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week. I'm Chris Draper. He's Brandon Burnett. Doug's behind the camera. He gets all the credit, though. Thank you for the 6th man, man. Thank you.
You gotta keep them separated.
Looking to pack more performance into your vehicle this season? Well, it starts with your tires. And from March the 16th to April the 10th, you can get a $70 reward card after submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires, including the new Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. Cunningham Tire, serving you in 3 locations, Bassett, Danville, and Eden. Come on by. Cunningham Tire, we'll keep you rolling.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
At Memorial